back on that and say that would be a good way to invite non-members to join us in that very casual setting. And once you make a personal connection, it makes a world of difference as far as wanting to become a member. So I like the idea of these casual social arrangements in the whether it's I like the idea of it once a month, but the casual drop in, they actually, I used to be a member of newcomers in Carlsbad, and they did that. They would show up just without having to register beforehand, although, so I mean, it's definitely a workable arrangement.
So maybe fewer structured meetings with speakers or projects and more social interaction dates.
Well, there's nothing that attracts people more than food.
Food and drink.
And we all have to eat.
Yes, that's right. Karen?
What about having a special meeting where each member is asked to really think about somebody they know and bring to that meeting that they might be interested in possibly joining if we have a little showcase on what some of the special interest groups are doing and so forth. I think that might be one of the best ways. That how I got in is that someone in the Oceanside branch said, Karen, now that you retired, you need to get into AAUW. And she said, don't wait for anybody to call you and invite you into the group. Just go, pick the groups and call them and say, I want to join your group. And so
That's
then
what
I got
did.
in about
That's what I did in I did that in Williamsburg when we were traveling, and convinced her to join the Williamsburg AAUW while we were sitting on a bus waiting for the bus.
Yeah, I like
For
your
that
idea.
matter, in the past, we've had a sort of a social and event where we shared all the things we're doing and that sort of thing in September as sort of our kickoff for the new year. And that was in person. It was, I know we've done it at the Methodist Church in wherever that is, Solana Beach. Encinitas, was that it? And yeah, that's right. And I don't know, there are probably other places we could do it. We could do on one of these restaurant patios. The beauty of the restaurant is they provide all the setup and the food and the drink and, but the unbeauty of the restaurant is that you're inviting guests, but we're not planning to pay for their meal.
Right, everybody has to pay.
Right, exactly. Everybody has to pay. So
I like Karen's idea and have an event called Bring a Friend. So everybody that comes has a friend with them. And so the friends don't feel awkward, half the people there are not members. And I would be more inclined to bring a friend. I'll say, I need to bring a friend to this,
right.
It gives me more confidence to say, hey, why don't you come see what this is like? It's geared for,
Yeah.
people that aren't members.
I have a question. How many members do we have right now?
We currently have 87 on the books, but then it's renewal time. So, we've only renewed, let's see, what is it? Yeah, 26 so far, unless a few more came in the last few days.
28, because Carol and I renewed.
Okay, good.
So, but this is renewal time, so I think that's an anomaly. The number on the books for the past year has been 87. So,
And if you were to do an invite like this, how many people might come? I mean, I'm not, everybody, half the people, third of the people?
Oh, not many at all.
40?
No.
20.
yeah, it's hard to know, having been through the pandemic, like we used to sometimes have 40 or 50 people for something like this, but I don't know.
I would be surprised if we get 15 members bringing another person.
Yeah, that's probably more realistic. Yeah.
So something like this can be, well, ideally would be at a home. That's
why I'm asking. I have a fairly big house, but it's not all one big room. You know what I mean? It's not like Kathy Kathy's house that does great decisions. It's a living dining room than a big den. And I have parties all the time for different organizations I belong to, but 50 would be a push.
Yeah.
30, 25, 30 would work. Unless it was
And
summer and
and
I had a big.
I think there's actually a greater appeal to go to a home than,
Mhm.
I mean, I find it more appealing. So I would like that better than going to a church or even to a restaurant.
Well, I'm
Certainly for
just-
starters.
If it's a meetup, okay, one of the groups, I'm one of the founding members of Women Give, which is a giving circle.
Oh, right, I
And-
know them.
Yeah, and
I applied for, I mean, y'all gave us money.
I'm sure we did. I've been a member since 11, but I've faded in and out of doing stuff based on grandchildren that I ended up taking care of. But anyway, what they do on some special ones, like that, we had one at a person's house in Poway the other day, and it was like 30 people, and it was cut. You know what I mean? The first 30 people to sign up, that was it. So we'd almost have to do something like that if it were here. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't have 50. Well, I
Well,
could, but
think
you'd be
that's
standing.
That's
yard.
fine. I think there's nothing wrong with that kind of a limitation when it's a
No.
home. I
And
think.
I think I think it will be a somewhat small event. We put out the word, here's this event to bring a friend to, let us know if you're coming. And,
Mhm.
Limited
Yeah.
to so many people or whatever, but I think that would be great and probably wouldn't even get the 15. I don't know, but anything like that. Well, Edith, you're the perfect one to talk to. I joined after going to, they called it a What's the Scoop because they served ice cream. It was at Edith's home. Some of the officers were there. They talked about what AAUW did. And I was a year out of an early retirement from teaching because my in-laws had needed help and I needed to be around people like a lot of you. I needed to be around my peers. And I went to that and they told about the different things. And I thought, this is great. I can be a do-gooder. I can help women's issues. But they had a lot of activities where you just show up if you want to show up for that activity. And we had a lot of mini courses in those days. And, but that one meeting, I was sold and it was at Edith's house and, it wasn't a mob of people, and I don't even know that we weren't even brought by a member. We came on our own because we saw it in the paper.
Mhm.
If
And
we're
it was
opening it up,
delicious. You don't want to forget that it was delicious.
I don't remember that part at all, but I
That's
remember
important.
you were very welcoming and you had each of us go around and tell what we did. I remember you saying, oh, math teacher, you kind of regretted the fact that I, as a female, had quit being a math teacher. We need women doing that. But, everybody told their little story. And that's what caused me to join. So you've met some of the people, you know what the organization's about.
Mhm.
And I did have one person, Lynn Love, had been trying to get me to join for quite a while. But anyway, I think the personal touch like that is really good with attracting new members.
if
And
we're
just
putting it out,
Linda, just backing up, I want to say that I have loved hearing from all the speakers at the general meetings. Wide-ranging topics, things that never had been in my brain before, and it has meant a lot. It's so exciting to see what young women and regular middle-aged people and old people like me are doing. It's great.
I agree, Edith,
also
but we're not getting that many people at our meetings,
Yeah.
for the effort that's expended to set all this up. Why do you think that is?
I think it comes back to when Carol, the lesser or greater, said earlier about how we need to work together with other groups. When you look at the quality of the people that Nolan used to get to speak at our meetings, they were really, really excellent. And if we opened, if we really worked with other groups to have Zoom and in-person meeting, and everyone took responsibility for one every 2 months or whatever we decide. I think we could do very, very well and get a bit of vibrancy back.
Could I insert a thing about this? And I understand where Lorraine's coming from, but many other organizations have an element of philanthropy where they want people to join their organization so that they can get money from them. AAUW cannot support other organizations financially. That is in their bylaws. And so if we connect with another organization, they have to have an understanding that we're not in this organization to give you money.
Oh, right. I just meant other AAW groups.
Okay, but we've also often brought up other groups that we would connect with.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that there's that thing about the philanthropy.
Good point.
We have tons of organizations in these communities. I mean, there must be hundreds of them, and I've seen them. But their main goal is philanthropy, and oftentimes.
Yeah, and they're worthy organizations, but as AEUW, Nancy is right. We're not supposed to fundraise or support directly other organizations. But I
Is inviting
share
somebody-
Lorraine's feeling that we could certainly be working with other AEUW groups, and there's other ways of working with groups to, just let them know we're having a speaker, and if anybody would like to come, that sort of thing.
Well, I wonder too about rather in the papers, rather than just having like a little article, maybe putting together an invitation, and inviting, just saying what kind of people that you're looking for that would